What's up guys, this is Zach and Neil from Imperium Racing, and today we'll be covering the head components that I'll be going into his 95 Integra.
Yes sir, so I have the Integra that I'm building up, and I'm going to have a fully built motor. So these are all the engine components I have so far for that build. So we'll start from the top with the camshafts. These are, as you probably noticed, most of my parts are from Skunk 2 because I like their brand and they have good reviews and make pretty good parts. So my camshafts I have right here. This is the intake camshaft, the exhaust camshaft. I would get them out and show them to you, but most people know what a camshaft looks like. And these are covered in grease and wrapped in plastic, so I want to leave them in there and leave them nice and greasy. But these camshafts are nice because the aftermarket camshafts will mess with duration and lift, changing how long your valve opens and how far it opens. So you can get a lot more power that way by messing with that. And these camshafts specifically are stage 3 camshafts. So Skunk 2 Racing has 3 different series of camshafts, and within each series they have 3 stages. So the highest series and the highest stage is like the most aggressive one. So I got an aggressive stage 3, but it's like the lowest series. So these cams, they add power in the top end and everything, but they keep similar emissions at idle, and like a similar idle, so it doesn't idle like crazy or rough or anything, which is good because my car's a 95 and I want to pass smog, so it has to pass tailpipe emissions. So these keep all of that all good while adding lots of power.
Alright, next up would be cam gears. So cam gears are connected to your camshaft as well as your timing belt, so it just keeps everything synchronized properly. These ones from BMS, they are adjustable, so you can slightly adjust the timing of it if necessary. And then also these are just going to be a lot stronger than your OEM cam gears, so that's why you'd want to move up to something like this.
Yeah, fine adjustment strength. And also, now I'm thought about smog, a lot of Honda guys like to leave their timing belt covers off because they're plastic and they break easy, so they just leave them off. If you're trying to pass smog, obviously replacing cams is illegal, but if it passes,
California.
Right, but they can't see them, so if they don't see them, they don't know they're there, and it passes, then you're good. But aftermarket cam gears are kind of a dead giveaway if you don't have the cover on, so just a little tidbit. As Neil said, those guys slap on the cams and then this goes right around them, and keeps your cams in time with your crank, right? So I got a Gates Racing timing belt, which I think all the Gates Racing ones are blue. I think they have a
and the non-racing ones are just black, right?
Yeah, I think so. They just have their regular series that's black. I don't know if there's a big difference between them, but
these are probably just a little bit stronger, can hold up to better racing conditions.
Probably true. Higher RPMs and just more power and everything. So you don't want to skimp on a timing belt, especially if you have an interference motor, because if this breaks, if you have an interference motor and your timing belt breaks, then your valves come into your cylinder, and so if the timing breaks, then your piston will come up and hit them and just destroy your valves.
Yeah,
so
basically just like an extra precaution to keep your motor safe.
Yeah,
so if you're putting a lot of money into it, might as well just pick up a slightly more expensive timing belt.
Yeah, and then if it's old or getting worn out, if you decide to start racing a car with a lot of miles on it and it has a belt, chains last a little longer, but if it has a belt, you want to replace that.
Yeah, valves. So we have our intake, which is a little bit wider than our exhaust. So these are going to be stronger than your OEM ones. You're going to be able to handle like higher temperatures or movement.
Yeah.
They all have slightly different face design. That's going to depend on what application you're looking for.
Yeah. So Skunk 2's website also. Another reason I like their company is they kind of give you a lot of parts to match together. Like if you're buying these cams, make sure you upgrade like your valve springs to at least these and like valves and stuff. So that's pretty nice that they do all that. Valve springs, speaking of which, I also got these ones specifically for my car. They have a little tiny valve spring inside of the bigger one, so there's 2 of them. So if you're taking them apart or putting them in, you got to make sure you have both of them. They're both there for a reason. and both serve their own purpose. Valve springs are really important if you're going with a lot more power and stuff. Valve springs keep the valves closed, cams open the valves, right? So those are important. And these little guys and the keepers, these guys sit right on top of the valve springs, and then the keepers go on the valve holding this plate down. So if you're taking them apart, you really don't want to lose those keepers because they're really, really small, and with the tension of that, they can just fly everywhere and you'll never find them. But keepers are really important. So if you like accidentally bend one or smash one or they're old, you might want to replace them because that's the only thing that holds your valve spring to your valve. And then another thing that I wanted to upgrade is just the valve stem seals. That's what keeps your oil in the head of your motor, lubricating your springs and your cams and everything, but not going past your valves into the cylinder. So that's important because you do not want to burn oil that way, and they're hard to replace. So I figured just right off the bat I would put nicer ones in there. And then these are pretty cool. Skunk 2's comes kind of with like these little owner kits for their most of their parts that they have. That has just the warranty card and a little bit of information about them and everything. This is for the retainers. They are titanium retainers, so they're supposed to be nice and strong for those valve springs, which I want to have a lot of power, so that's important.
Yeah, so eventually we'll have a video installing all this stuff.
Yeah.
Eventually getting it all in the car.
And hopefully it works. Not it'll work, but hopefully it puts out a lot of power. That's what we're hoping for. So.
Alright, well that pretty much concludes this video here at Imperium Racing. Make sure you check out our up and coming videos. Subscribe. And well, if you want to.
It'd be nice.
Tell me goodnight with the front.
You don't have any cold rashes, right? Any little pandas? Alright, do you need help out? Okay, have a good night.
Good day it is, just, you know, have a good one.
Je sais pas ce qui se passe, j'ai jamais fait cette écoute.